Hello students, I am Dr. Sandeep Walia and today we are going to discuss about the module Product Designing versus Service Designing. After completing this module, we shall be able to understand about the concept of product and the concept of service. We shall also be able to understand about the concept of product designing. After that, we shall also be able to understand about the concept of service designing. While discussing these things in the module, we shall also be discussing about the various differences and similarities among products and service designing. After that, in the concepts, we will be able to understand the present and future global trends in product and service designing. So let us start with this module. Dear students, designing literally means planning or detailing the development of a system or a process. Designing is a systematic process and involves step-by-step execution of plan to achieve the specified results. Products and services are different in their attributes and thus require different processes and procedures to be adopted to meet up the requisite outputs. Now you might be having this question that what is a product? A product is something which can be touched, which can be seen and can be tasted. Therefore, a product is a tangible object. That's to say that the customer can buy the product and then hold or store it somewhere. Be this in the real world or on a computer or a device. Most often, its value is generated and derived from the product by the user. The user already knows what they want from the product, exactly what they want the product for. Hence, they buy and they go for it. From pots and pans to the t-shirts and the video games, all of these are products and these are tangible in nature. Next is, what do we mean by the service? What is service? On the other hand, a service is something that someone experiences and is not necessarily owned by them. For example, healthcare services or streaming platforms such as Netflix, Spotify and Audible. In each of these cases, the services are not tangible and only has value when they have the performed or by the user. With this in the mind, it is true to say that we list services are by definition people-centered, products are not. As we can imagine, the differences in these definitions means that there are also contrasts in the processes of designing products and that of the designing of the services. Let us now discuss about the key principles of the product design. Product design is the process of identifying a market opportunity, clearly defining the problem, developing a proper solution for that particular problem and validating the solution with the real users. As such, design thinking is a brilliant foundation for the product design process, since it is so focused on finding actionable and practical solution to the problems of the real users. Design thinking is a problem solving process. In this, first we begin by understanding and scoping a clear problem. Then we focus on how we can solve that particular problem. One of the ways that this is the best illustrated is through the design council's double diamond figure. This is such a valuable process for the product designers as it focuses on product development from one end to the other, not just the design itself. This helps designers to define exactly what they are trying to achieve in terms of their users' needs, thereby creating something with a much greater chance of the success. More than simply the look and the feel of a product is considered. In order to understand the design thinking framework, this then feeds into the product development process. Each project will look slightly different, but here's how the general flow looks like. The first is defining the product vision. That means there must be a convincing idea before defining for the product. Then we need to have product research. Then We need to have some research about the user analysis, then we have to ideation of that product, and we need to design that product according to the needs and wants of users. The next is testing and validation of that product, and after that post-launch activities in order to promote and make that product familiar. Let us now discuss about the key principles to service design. Dear students, the activity of planning and organizing people, infrastructure, communication and material components of a service in order to improve its quality and the interaction between service provider and the customers. The purpose of service design methodologies is to design according to the needs and wants of the customers, according to the desires of the customers or the participants, so that the service is user friendly, competitive and relevant to the customers. To put it simply, then the process has a focus on ensuring that a service is meeting the need of all users as effectively as possible at every single step. In terms of implementing service design, according to Mark Stigdon and Jacob Skinder, the methodology have 5 basic principles, which is, these principles are user-centered through understanding the user by doing qualitative research. Second principle is co-creative by involving all relevant stakeholders in the design process. While the third is sequencing, which means that sequencing by partitioning a complex service into the separate processes. Then the fourth is evidencing, which means by visualizing service experiences and making them tangible in terms of evidences. While the fifth one is holistic, that means holistic by considering touch points in the network of interactions and the users. In businesses and engineering, new product development, which is abbreviated as NPD, covers the complete process of bringing a new product into the market. A central aspect of new product development is product design, along with various business considerations. New product development is described broadly as the transformation of a market opportunity into a product available for the sale in that particular market. The product can be tangible, that means something physical which one can touch, or the product can be intangible like a service or an experience or a belief which cannot be touched, which cannot be seen. Though sometimes services and other processes are distinguished from products, and this new product development requires an understanding of customer needs, wants and desires in the competitive environment and the nature of the market. Cost, time and quality are the main variables that derive customer needs. Aiming at these 3 variables, innovative companies develop continuous practices and strategies to better satisfy customers. They also work tirelessly to satisfy customer requirements and to increase their own market share by a regular development of new products which they can offer in the market to the real end users. There are many uncertainties and challenges which companies must face throughout these all processes. The use of best practices and the elimination of barriers to communication are the main concerns for the management of new product development. The process structure. The product development process typically consists of several activities that firms employ in a complex process of delivering new products to a market. A process management approach is used to provide a structure. Product development often overlaps much with the engineering design processes, particularly if the new product being developed involves application of math and some applications of scientific principles. Every new product will pass through a series of stages, or we can say that series of phases, including ideation among other aspects of design as well as manufacturing and market introduction. In highly complex engineered products, for example aircrafts, automotive machineries, the new product development processes can be likewise more complex regarding in terms of management of personnel, milestones, and deliverables. Such projects typically use an integrated product team approach, which means the process for managing large-scale complex engineering products is much slower, often 10 plus years, than that deployed for many types of consumer needs. Students, the product design is the development of both the high level and detailed level design of the products, which turns that what of the requirements into the specific how this particular product will meet up to those requirements and how this product is going to address those requirements. This typically has the most overlap with the engineering design product processes, but can also include industrial design and even purely aesthetic aspects of design. On the marketing and planning side, this phase ends at pre-commercialization of analysis. Let us now discuss about the new product development process. New product strategy. Innovators have clearly defined their goals and objectives for new product. And this can be done in the phases where in the first phase, idea generation. That means collective brainstorming about the ideas through internal and external sources. We need to have the idea. We need to have something which can be conceived. The second stage is screening. Screening of condensed number of brainstormed ideas to the ideas which can be workable, which can be doable. The third is concept testing, which means we need to structure an idea into a detailed concept. We need to finalize the blueprints on which we have to work. The fourth is the business analysis. That means understand the costs and profits of the new product and determining if they meet company objectives, mission, vision and goals of that company. Then the fifth is the product development. That means developing the product. Here the production phase started. Sixth is the marketing testing. That means the product is sent to the market in order to test through a trial to run that particular product, whether the product is meeting as the expected features which has been designed. Then the seventh is the introduction of the product into the market. This is the stage when product is being introduced to the market. Let us discuss this step by step. The first is align vision and goal. Second is brainstorming. The third is conducting a market analysis. Then in the fourth step, we need to identify the barriers and the limitations. In the fifth step, we need to establish a user profile, as the persons, as we need to have the different characteristics about different people, their expectations, their desire, their needs. Then in the sixth step, we need to do prototype and test that particular product. While in the seventh, we need to evaluate users' experience, thereby through the feedbacks or some kind of mechanism where we can get the feedback. And in the seventh, eighth step, we need to have improvisation based upon those feedbacks which we have received from the customers. Service design must therefore be people-centered. It can only happen with users involved from the outset. Product design may also be people-centered, but it is not inherently so. Students, because it considers service as a whole, service design choreographs the performances of multiple sectors and performances of multiple actors over space and time. Product design focuses more on one thing and less on the way people discover it, get it hold of, or get help with it. Some activities can seem to be in a gray area, especially in the digital world. For example, software code may be sold like a product on an application store, but its ongoing operation is still service. In such situation, we would argue that we should still design for the service rather than pretend these are standalone products. Discovery can take on a new meaning within service design because we often work with highly complex problem spaces nowadays, with many people involved in such processes. And due to this, the social and technical complexity, service designers can spend a lot of time mapping both the current state and the future state of services and its processes. The output of this discovery is typically a set of service blueprints and flows. Let us now discuss about the differences and similarities among product and service designing. The elements of a service can be categorized into 4 P's. And we have discussed these 4 P's. Everybody knows them about these 4 P's. That means product, people, process, partners. While service designers may look at all these elements as a holistic system, we may not have the required expertise to design each element separately or together. Therefore, the control over those individual elements often belongs to the specialist, like product designers. Product designers usually take a more vertical look at a single touch point or interface used in the customer's journey. In today's design age, we more often see service and product designers working together in the same space. And because of the digitalization of services, we are now seeing the boundaries blurring between the disciplines. That said, there are some key differences still left. The main difference between product and service design is tangibility. Not everything designed in a service can be seen or touched. For example, the design of a process between the two people, two-sided, which means service design is often about defining the capabilities that will enable a great front-end experience and not just the back-end or behind-the-scene possibilities. Services can typically not be produced in advance or stored for a longer period of time and must be provided at the same moment. When they are produced, they need to be consumed. So production, delivery and the use happen at the same time. Hence, compared to the product, the difference is more operational. The difference is in the fulfillment. They can be stored for a longer period of time. The most important of these is the locus of value. Products can be transported, stored and sold independently of the people who use them, while services has value only when they are being performed for someone. Without a user, there is no use of service. Now, transitioning from product to service design. Service design requires full engagement with the business, which can require different skills and a new vocabulary for the product designers. This can be a surprise to those transitioning to this area. Service design is much more collaborative, and we will spend a little time crafting pixels. Service blueprints and flows have limited value if not paired with healthy collaboration and stakeholder management. Service design requires making people love their craft. Let us now summarize what we have discussed in this module. Students, product designers need to consider all the details, the way people use and abuse objects, faulty products, errors made in the design process, and the desirable ways in which people wish they could use these objects. Many new designs will fail and many won't even make it to happen to the market. Some designs eventually become obsolete. The design processes itself can be quite frustrating, usually taking 5 or 6 tries to get the product design right. A product that fails in the marketplace the first time may be reintroduced to the market 2 more times. If it continues to fail, the product is then considered to be a dead because the market believes it to be a failure. Most new products fail. Even if there's a great idea behind them, even then they used to fail. All types of product designs are clearly linked to the economic health of manufacturing sectors. Innovation provides much of the competitive impetus for the development of new products with new technology, often requiring a new design interpretation. It only takes one manufacturer to create a new product paradigm to force the rest of the industry to catch up, fueling further innovation. Products designed to benefit people of all ages and abilities without penalty to any group, accommodate our swelling aging population by extending independence and supporting the changing physical and sensory needs, which we all encounter as we grow older. Product design process, that means the set of strategic and tactical activities from idea generation to commercialization used to create a product design. In a systematic approach, product designers conceptualize and evaluate ideas, turning them into tangible inventions and products. The product designer's role is to combine art, science, and technology together to create new products that people can use, and these such products can have a bigger shelf life. Their evolving role has been facilitated by digital tools that now allow designers to do things that include communicate, visualize, analyze, 3D modeling, and actually produce tangible ideas in a way that would have taken greater human resources in the past. Product design is sometimes confused with certain overlaps with industrial designs and has recently become a broad term inclusive of service, software, and physical product design. Industrial design is concerned with bringing artistic form and usability, usually associated with craft design and ergonomics, together in order to mass produce goods. Other aspects of product design and industrial design include engineering design, particularly when matters of functionality or utility, for example problem solving, are at issue, though such boundaries are not always clear. We can conclude here that really a product and a service are not that different. They are a thing that provides value to someone. Literally in all cases, product and service come together and are both required to deliver a sustainable experience and can consequently not be decoupled. Service and product design are not alternatives, but look at different aspects of an overall value proposition. Service design is holistic and broad, product design is more focused. While service design is focused on the organization and planning of people at communication in order to create optimal service quality. Whereas product design is primarily concerned with solving real problems through functionality, not just what a product looks and feels like. This is thanks to the intangibility of services versus the physical nature of the products. However, at the heart of both product and the service design is the desire to create the best possible user experience. They are each user-centered and keep customers at the heart of their decision making. And with these words, I would like to sum up this module. Thank you very much.